Nobody's clapping because they all got a sandwich in their hands. But you guys know, and if you're new to serving youth, we do this twice a year. We do 2 mandatory trainings, where we do a refresher on our ministry protection plan, and we're going to have Nikki talk about mandatory reporting, and Charlie will come and talk about Wednesday night safety. But first, Pastor wanted to talk, and I was like, dude, of course. Yeah, I was going to say, of course. Yeah. How do you say no to the legend?
Guys, thank you for doing what you do. Love you long time. I think this is the unsung heroes of the church, next gen ministry, right? Hospitality is wonderful, sign holders great, parking is great, but the only thing that Jesus said, let them do a particular action as well. Let the little children come to me. Don't think little in terms of age. Think of little in terms of what we just talked about, people whose souls are still being formed, right? So that's what you guys are doing, and so I'm so grateful for it, not only as a pastor, but as a dad. Man, I've got one little girl in here, and I got another boy who's on the way. I've got nephews been in this thing. We've got friends. I've got neighbors, like my actual neighbor comes here. So thank you for being a safe place that I feel comfortable inviting people to, knowing the reputation of the church is on the line. So with that, can I just bare my soul?
Yeah.
I don't want to inspire you. I don't want to motivate you. I'm not trying to increase your passion for next gen. You're already here. I trust you have it. What I do want to do is put a little fear in you. We are all aware. We're all aware of churches and schools and teachers locally. It's all over the news, right? Of people who've been brought down. They started off with good intentions, but somewhere along the way, a good thing became a coping thing. It became a bad thing. Stay away from the bad things, guys. Jesus said, let the little children come unto me. We love that part. But you know what else he said? If you cause one of my little ones to fall into sin, and you change their mind in a negative sense towards God or his church, better for them to have a weight tied around their neck, thrown into the depth of the sea, drown and suffocate on seawater. It's intense, right? In the original language, it's intense. Better for them to die than to cause one of my little ones. We are called to defend the weak. We are called to defend those with no voice. We are called to be the mouthpiece of God and the protectors of children who don't know what it's like to have a good father figure. What is a father figure in Scripture? Someone who's going to provide, protect, and pastor his children. Now, sometimes that shows up in the voice of a woman too, right? So it's not just men only. No, it's all of us, right? And I'm just like, maybe I just spoke three times and my energy level is just a little right now, or maybe I'm just really cautious of what you guys are doing. Because it matters so much, and what is at stake is years of trauma if we don't get it right. So always err on the side of respect and dignity for God's children. Okay? Always err. I don't know if this is okay. Err on the side of what would be respectful and dignify them as individuals made in the creation of God. Hold yourself to the highest level of accountability. Right? Don't give yourself a pass. Know that the devil works in weird, strange ways. Right? There is nothing more dignifying to yourself than if you see a student that has started gravitating towards you in an unhealthy way. We live in a society where next gen longs for daddy figures and mommy figures, right? And sometimes what they see as that is purely that. They're looking for a good mentor or a parental figure. Sometimes that becomes something else in their eyes. In their eyes. So if you ever sense that a child is being sort of off, weird, extra needy, extra emotional, extra huggy, we're not saying that, oh, they're evil. We're saying somebody needs to know, hey, Noah, Hannah, Charlie, Pastor James, this is what I'm sensing, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, like somebody else is gonna talk about mandatory reporting. I'm talking about holding your soul accountable, right? And I'm talking about being mindful of children who don't always know how to express appropriately healthy boundaries, right? God's favorite subject is generations. So by you participating in this particular environment means that you are about one of God's favorite subjects. Generations, growing up, knowing God. That's exciting. It's also the devil's playground. I just want us to be mindful of both. Because at the end of the day, if something would happen, it's going to be your name and my name in the paper. Right? Nobody cares about your intentions. It's going to be your name in the paper and that I allowed it. My goal is to keep us both out of the paper. Right? Right? But you want to hear something worse than the paper headline? Yeah, well, that too. But years and years of generational church hurt and baggage and trauma that came from an adult figure that used religious practices in a bad manner. Now, I trust every one of you in here. That's why you're in the room. We have ongoing conversations about who's leading who. There are some people that have begged to be in the room, and I actually think they've got a great personality to mentor students. They don't have the character. And if they don't have the character, a personality becomes dangerous. And so I know I'm sounding real right now, and if there was any caution in my heart about any of you, we would be having this conversation before you're in here, right? So just know, I'm coming from a good place. I love you. I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about your involvement. I think God is going to use you in incredible ways. I just want you to be mindful what's at stake, and that is generations coming to know God. Okay? Now take all that, put it over here. You know what's exciting? Participating in God's favorite subject means that God wants to bless your involvement more than you can possibly imagine. He wants to expedite. The Bible says before his return, a generation coming to know him. So with that expedition and excitement should be more than just, wow, let's get teenagers together. It's let's develop our prayer life and a sense of purpose for every person who walks in this building. Man, I don't know what God has in store for you, but I know it's incredible. I know it is because look at what he's done in your life. Man, I love, and when we articulate what we sense the Holy Spirit is doing in somebody, even if it's their hustle, their grind, they love band, they're an artist, they're friendly. See what I'm saying? Like when we give voice to the Imago Dei in people, students will rise to the level that we're able to articulate. So don't be so afraid of doing the wrong thing that you hold yourself hostage and you never can communicate God's best over their life. Just keep it above approach. Or sometimes when I feel like I need to affirm a woman in the church, I'm going to grab Jessica. Hey, man, I was just thinking about you the other day, and I wanted to say this over your life. Well, she's there, nothing's weird. You know what I'm saying? Here's my prayer for you, that you would see with your own eyes. As somebody who's now been at the church for almost 20 years, there's nothing more rewarding. I started off as a youth pastor, remember? To see students that I led as a youth leader, now they're still in the church, they're still serving, they're plugged in, they got their kids and XR kids, and there's something beautiful about proclaiming God's best in someone's life and watching them believe it and live up to it. Right? I'm so jealous of what you guys get to do, honestly. Part of me wishes I could just, let's figure out somebody else to be the pastor. Let me get back involved in youth. That's where it's at. But thank you for doing what you do. I want to pray for you. Lord, thank you for the privilege of shepherding sons and daughters on the Good Shepherd's behalf. Lord, let us be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. Lord, let us be reminded that he who began a good work in our life is going to see it on to the day of completion as we continue to motivate, inspire, and educate and form a next generation to carry the baton of faith matters. God, I pray that you would give us in this room unique eyes to see what some parents can't even see and what teachers and coaches can't see. And that is the Imago Dei in the life of every student. I pray that when the time comes that you would give us the right words wrapped in the glory of God to speak directly to every student's heart, that though they are old, one day they will never depart from that which was spoken over their life, the calling of God on their life. Lord, we pray for a blessed school season. We pray for protection and wisdom, but also excitement and joy to be in the house of God, to learn about the things of God. Lord, I pray that there will be a rich anointing upon Noah and Hannah's life as they lead this movement. I pray that the desires of their heart and the vision of their mind would come to pass this school year. In Jesus' name, everybody said, amen. Love y'all.
Yes. I don't know how to follow that up. I mean, that was great, right? Phenomenal. So we're gonna kick off with Charlie. We're gonna kick off with Nikki. We're gonna kick off with Nikki for mandatory reporting. So, Nikki, when you as you're handing these out, would you? A lot of people here.
I don't have enough for everybody, so just
Here, I got you. You go.
I need one.
You need one. Okay. Would you explain, because not everybody knows like your personal and your work background. Like, would you just kind of explain a little bit like who you are outside of the church? Because everybody sees you as Secretary of State here.
I don't love that title. So hi, I'm Nikki Arvon. If we haven't met, please come say hi to me at some point. But I am by training a physician. So I work originally in family medicine, but now 100% in addiction medicine. So I unfortunately use these kinds of things all the time, especially when I was working with kids in family medicine, things like that. So I wanted to go over West Virginia State mandatory reporting. This is different in every state, so we're in West Virginia, so that's why we're going over this one in particular. It's actually a lot simpler than people think. Essentially, if there is any reasonable cause for you to think that a child is being abused or neglected in any way, shape, or form, whatever you think that means, you call. That's it. Like, that's it. So there is no penalty for calling if it's in good faith, right? You know, somebody who's calling on repeat for something that's minor, like eventually the police are going to be like, dude, what are you doing? But generally speaking, if you're in good faith and you are just concerned about what a student just told you, then you would call. They're very kind when you call. They're like, thank you for calling. You know, you're not going to get in trouble. You know, this isn't about getting anybody in trouble, but it is about protecting our kids. I mean, you all know how dangerous the world can be for our students right now and our children. And we all want them to be protected. Sometimes parents and loved ones can think they're doing things in a good way, but it's not going well. And they actually need some support. Or they are on the struggle bus so much right now that they just can't even with their kids. And they need some support. And so that's really what it's about, is actually about bringing families together and supporting them so that the entire family can be healthy, okay? So don't feel like I'm just trying to get that mom in trouble. That's not what they're gonna do. That's not how they're gonna approach it, okay? So when you call, it's important to note that you should call immediately. So you can't be like, you know what, last week happened and I feel like last week, you know, like something I should report. No, you should report it within 24 hours. That is, if it's after that, they won't do anything with it anyway, even if you do call. And they might say, hey, that's too late. So report it immediately within 24 hours. Reporting it to NOAA does not count. Right. So if you hear what a student is telling you, and you are concerned about it, you are obligated to call. Now you should tell NOAA too, like, as well. But that's not like, oh good, he's got it, he can handle it from here. The church has their own process for managing these things, but still, if you hear it, you call. That's how that works, okay?
Yeah, just to be clear, if you do have to report anything for any student, bring either me or Hannah in the loop immediately.
Yeah.
So we can just make sure that we can pass with the student as well as we can, right?
Yeah, that's
Does
really
that make sense?
From a church standpoint, a safety standpoint, I'll talk about that in a second, but it's also good if you're on the phone with them, have them listen, so that way we're not repeating the story multiple times. They can hear exactly what the police are being told, they can get the first hand, they can take their own notes as church staff, and we can just keep everything on the same storyline, and you're not having to say it, repeat it, miss, drop, or anything like that.
That's great.
That's good. The APS is on there too, in case life you need it. There you go, you have it. So when you call, they are going to ask you questions about it. What is the student's name? You should probably know that. You don't always have to have, you don't have all the answers, I promise. You're not gonna have all the answers to all their questions. And you would just say, I don't know, and that's okay. And they're like, okay, next. But they'll ask you their name, their address, a phone number, a parent's name, where they go to school, because they're just trying to figure out how can I even get to this child to be able to interview them, to see what's really going on. They will often meet them at school, especially if the story is very concerning that the home environment is quite dangerous. They will come to their school, pull them out of class and say, hey, what's up? So that kind of stuff is important if you can provide it. If you're not able to provide much information, honestly, there's not much they're gonna be able to do. So if you're like, well, the kid's name is like Joey, I think, and like, no, I don't know their name or their phone number or where they work, or they're gonna be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do about that. So as much that you can give them is good. Yes.
When
Sorry.
it comes to their personal information, every student who checks in here at Youth, we have their full name, we have their address. If their parents are in our system, we have their parents' name, their phone number, all that stuff. So if you're going to make the report and you're bringing us into the loop, that's another reason like we can help
Get
give
that
you all that information.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
They also ask a lot of information about siblings and things like that, because what their concern is that if it's happening to one child at home, there's a likelihood that it's also happening to other children. So overall, they're building that comprehensive idea of like what the household is and who is dangerous.
It's good.
If
That's a
they
great
have
point.
If they have any siblings that go to youth or that you know of, fill them in on that too.
So we're getting bigger, and I feel like as we get bigger, this is probably gonna be coming up more than we think. We said we got 24 hours, but Hannah and Noah would be the responsible, like we have to do that with the information. What happens if their schedule's so busy that we can't report the 24 hours, but we don't have that information? What then?
You
who pick
you
up?
would still report it with whatever you've got.
Okay.
That's the priority, for sure.
But like hopefully like in an ideal scenario, if somebody comes to you with something, you can just bring us in the loop at the end of the night, or talk to us at that same time. But like obviously if it's outside of the church or outside of a youth thing, then that's a little different.
So then they will also ask you at the end, do you want kind of a report back essentially? I would say yes to that, just so they will let you know whether they've decided to pursue this officially as an investigation or not. If there isn't a whole lot of evidence, first call, this family's never had anything, they will sort of triage them to see like if this is something that we really need to send police out for type thing. So I would ask for that report back, just say yes, and they're supposed to send you a letter. They don't always send me a letter when I do it, but I always say yes, and then sometimes I get a letter, sometimes I don't. If you get a letter, please hand it to Noah so they can file it away for the church side. I think I went over all of that.
It's regardless of the decision.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
will let you know
Yeah.
one way or the other whether they've decided to pursue this or not.
Yeah, but to document it.
Yeah.
Give it to us regardless
Oh,
of what the
yeah,
decision on the letter
Yeah.
is, whether they're gonna
Yeah.
pursue it or not, just so we can have it for our records.
And sometimes what this is they didn't pursue it the first time, maybe they didn't pursue it the second time, the third call where somebody's like, hey, I think somebody's, they might, even if it's building a case essentially, so go ahead and call, it's fine. You don't know where they are in that case if this is something that's been going on for a long time or not. Hi, welcome. Do not conduct your own investigation.
Yeah.
Please do not call the parents and be like, Joey, blah, 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 told me you were doing this, what's up? Like, none of that. And then please also don't necessarily speak to each other about it either. I would say you can, talk to Noah, talk to Hannah, Pastor James, you can talk to Charlie, but like, if this is, maybe not gonna end up with anything, we don't necessarily need to put bad blood flood in people's minds about a kid, if that makes sense. Or because you can't help but sort of look at them a little bit differently and treat them maybe a little bit differently if you know that something is going on. You can't help it. You're going to be a little different around them, and trauma response will know it and be like, they're all talking about me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, they will know it before you even like breathe near them.
Yeah.
So, if that's happening, please just keep it locked in. If there's something truly really going on that everybody needs to go, no, well, let us all know, or Pastor James. And then, don't delay reporting just because you don't know some of the answers or something, or you're not sure totally. If you can't remember exactly the wording that the child said, that's fine. Like, this was the gist of what I heard, and they'll try to like prompt you to see if you can remember a little bit more, or is there anything else that happened, like what else, they're not grilling you to like try to trip you up, they're just trying to get as much of it as they can. And this is the phone number that you would call, just FYI, you can also just Google it. The website, the state website does have a really great training if you're looking for a little bit more in-depth. Moral of the story though is if you're concerned, you call. End of story. If it happens to be at youth, and I'm standing around, please feel free to grab me and I will come talk to the kid. Did I say ground or grab?
You said grab.
Okay, good. Yeah. Whoa, I had a brain glitch there. Whoa. Please feel free to grab me. I have done this before. There were 2 Wednesdays in a row I had to call. I was like, what is this? So what's happening? But never since. But feel free to grab me. I'm happy to chat with a kid. I always let the kid know, hey, what you're telling me is a little bit concerning, and this is not something that I'm going to keep a secret.
Yeah.
I'm going to call someone. And just so they're not blindsided. I said it's not meant to get anybody in trouble. I'm not trying to, ruin anything, but I feel like this is something that we need to really, this is concerning, and I'm gonna report this. So I do let them know.
Now this says, like for abuse and neglect, but like we've had instances before of like kids talking about suicide or like friends and stuff talking about suicide. So we didn't have this like last year, 2 years ago. I had to call the school, and they called me back and everything was fine. But like if it was like someone comes to us and they're like, my friend suicide tonight, do we still call this number, or do we call like just the police or like?
Yeah, I would not necessarily call this number because this one's not gonna be an urgent, like right this second. I would call 911. Do you have anything, Charlie, to add to that?
911 or central dispatch. Like Janelle and I, if we're here, we have a central dispatch number that we can give real quick out there for a second. So that's the piece where if it's something emergent, that's gonna follow up within 24 hours. Emergent, you need to call 911, and they'll transfer you to non-emergency line if you mark an emergency. And they will sit there and ping your phone and know your location, everything within seconds, and get all the information.
And discussion of suicide is an emergency.
Yes.
That is an emergency. You don't have to wonder about that.
Yeah.
So, if they mention it at all.
I don't understand.
So, Molly, 988 is a crisis emergency mental health hotline for all of y'all that, if you need it yourself as well, I think it's important.
Or anybody, it's, kids, adults, whatever.
988 is crisis suicide hotline.
Okay.
Call law enforcement first for immediate help.
Yeah,
But also
so they'll do a
follow
check.
that along.
Yeah.
And welfare checks are.
Yeah, that's what,
Can I say a couple of things real fast? I'm James, I introduced, most of you guys don't wanna say, but overseeing Next Gen. When you're talking about like, trying to tell people like I have to report this, if someone's like asking you like keep a secret, like it has to stay between us, no.
No.
And you can tell them no. And there have even been times where like if you can sense the conversation going somewhere, you can be like, hey, I just want you to know, I'm a mandated reporter. So if there are certain things that like you tell me, I wanna be a safe place, I wanna help, but I will not keep it a secret.
Yeah.
We will help, and we will intervene if we can. And you also said, somebody asked a question about like if Noah or Hannah aren't available. Any situation like this is like I'm coming to your house in the middle of the night if I have to, I'm getting out of bed, I'm canceling meetings, so never feel like you're a bother. If you ever have a question at all, Noah, Hannah,
I work in the school system and doing that stuff, and there's a process, so like, yeah, there's always a process, so it's like we're relying on 2 people, and that's, I know, part of their job, but like, there's still a process with it, so I was just curious what the process would be if they're not available within 24 hours.
I could back that up. we would figure out a way.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
we never wanna like, oh, sorry, I was golfing.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
I mean,
Call me out like
that
Not at all.
It literally all turned.
There really is nothing wrong if you're like, if you're just like, I don't know, you can go talk to Noah and be like, hey, I'm not sure about this. You can come to me and I, I can be like, oh, I think we should call about that, or,
And also,
what have
Kristen,
you.
who just started serving youth, she's a social worker at Martinsburg High School. So she's the perfect resource when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Any other questions or thoughts?
What constitutes a 911 call if they're talking about suicide? Like, sometimes they don't say it directly, and you're calling it
I
out.
would just call him.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
if any concern.
Even if they're like,
If
you're
you
talking about.
have the hair, and I'll talk about this in a second, the environmental awareness, like, if you have the hairs on the back of your neck saying something doesn't seem right about this conversation, you aren't trained to be able to figure out if it's good or bad. Let the
Yeah.
cops come in, and they'll have the conversation, and be like, okay, this kid needs to go to the ward, or they're fine, I just need to talk to the parents and be like, it's what's up.
Alright.
You don't want something to happen, and you be like, I'm in the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they said I had a thought of
You're-
suicide.
You're never gonna,
Thinking about, because I think everybody in this room, and we've had this conversation on the student process.
Yeah, you're up,
Yep.
Charlie.
So, I'm Debbie Downer, welcome. I'll talk about all the stuff that nobody else wants to talk about. So, back to that. Everybody, if you're honest with yourself, has always not even, I won't say would think about suicide, but you've been around people who be like, well, am I normal, am I not normal? You're gonna have kids. You're dealing with a group of age of children that just yesterday we talked to 15 girls that opened up about a lot of things.
Yeah.
You have the biggest group and the biggest effect on our next generation. I know we say it, buzzword, everything, but truly you do. And they're gonna talk about subjects that they're not even thinking about. So that's the difference of like, oh yeah, my friend talked about that, whatever. Or you have something be like, I've got no will to live and I'm just done. That's a red flag. If it's gonna be like, hey, yeah, like everybody keeps talking about suicide at school and blah, 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 and be like, well, that's just, unfortunately, because one of the notes that I put in here for Pastor Derek talking, I looked around. You only know you. I said this yesterday. You only know you. There's nobody else in the world that knows you. They only know them. They're gonna make a lot of assumptions on who everybody else is. They're gonna make a lot of assumptions about who you are. They're gonna make those relationships that Derek talked about. They're gonna make like, hey, I'm gonna get really close. But again, you've got this 11 to 18-year-old age range. They don't know how to make guardrails in their own life. So make sure you establish your own guardrails and you help them establish their own.
That's good.
So the big thing that I've said yesterday was baseline. I fly airplanes for the living for the Air Force. So I did a sim. The example I gave yesterday is I did a sim this week. A simulator, go up against the fighter, try to not die against an enemy, whatever. And I'm like, why am I doing this 25 years in? I had a baseline that was established 25 years ago, but I still adjusted it this week to see what's gonna cause the hairs on the back of my neck to stand up.
Yeah.
That's environmental awareness. That's how we're gonna be able to do this. You're gonna have conversations with these people, these kids that are going to develop them into the next generation of adults that hopefully come back and pour into the next generation of my son and everybody else. That's what we're going to do. So again, protecting yourself and protecting them is your number one goal in everything. And that's just who they are as a person, not building safety or anything like that we'll get into. The biggest piece I want you guys to understand is there are a lot of moving parts because every one of these kids, I love the youth so much. I love the kids, but they're crazy and they're weird and I don't like being around them. It's funny. They're just over the top, just being brutally honest. They're weird, but they're weird for a reason because they're figuring out who they are going to be.
It's great.
How they get it online or whether they get it here on Wednesday night, that's what's gonna matter. That's what's the next gen for me is what it means. Why do you serve? Mine, so everybody has their one day. That one day could be the only Wednesday they ever come here. So how you all show up every time, I'm exhausted half the time. I usually have one of those in my hand at 7 o'clock and you all yell at me for it, especially Nikki. But how they experience God is through you all, your heart and their interaction. The last thing you want to do is take away from that equation that keeps adding to get them to that tank, because that's what will make the biggest pride in your life is to see those kids that you said hello to the first day go into that water and be like, yay God.
Come on.
So, eyes and ears. There's only usually one of us here. We might go to two, but you guys are our eyes and ears. We can only be one spot. Usually we're watching the front of the door. There's a lot of moving parts here, and again, the kids are weird. They have friendships. Kids like to sneak in. They like to sneak off.
Janelle and I are called Hitler for a reason. I mean, we yell at kids constantly. Like, literally, we're the mean people because you have people walking over to Papa John's to get a fresh pie at 6:30, and we're like, bro, your parents just dropped you off. Stop being an idiot and get back with the group. Like, we're the bad guys. We're fine with that. And I can sleep peacefully at night by doing it. But you guys will see other people doing the same thing. You have the ability to pump the brakes and be like, hey, is this a wise decision that you're about to make to walk off property? No, it's not. Back inside and hang out with your friends. The other piece is there have been multiple times where we've been here and there are people hurting. Janelle and I will point them out to you all. I've gotten Noah, I've gotten Hannah, and been like, hey, I'm not crisis intervention with whatever is going on in their teenage girl world, but that one needs help, and you all need to go talk to her because there's a lot of tears, and I'm not dealing. I do blood, not tears. But that's the thing is, you all see the same thing. If that's not one of your people that you talk to that feel comfortable with, have that ability to go get somebody that they know can talk to them and be like, what's going on? Because it might just be something that there's a rabbit or a hamster going around in their head that just needs to jump off the wheel and they're gonna be totally fine. And then we don't get into those situations where they start talking about suicide and different things. Environmental awareness, this is the biggest thing. What's the best thing and worst thing about this church? Location. Anybody?
Yeah.
It's on Foxcroft.
It's on Foxcroft.
There's no yard.
Railroad tracks.
Yes, we have railroad tracks. So we like to open it up. We have a big thing. We have bollards. Thank you, Jesus. We finally got bollards so nobody can drive through the front of the church. Yes, that's what the safety team thinks about constantly. That's why we're demented. But the cones are cones. We can drive over those in about 2 seconds. You guys can also help us see if somebody's acting weird driving around or anything like that. We need to be aware. That door stays propped open 99% of the time, and Janelle and I watch that like a hawk because somebody can walk into here, not check in, come in, hang out, do what they want, and who knows who got in a fight at school that they're going to come here and finish it. So those are the pieces that we only know the equation when they show up at 6:30 and they leave at 8:30. Yeah. We don't know what happened from 6:30 in the morning to 4:30 at school that somebody knows they come here on Wednesday night because, oh, we got to put our lives on social media. So that's the piece where we just got to be aware of what doors are propped open, where they go, where they roam around the church, where they go. Yes, we're all being bros and the fact that like they're teenagers, we don't want to be like hovering over them, but there's also a line that we need to make sure that we establish.
Yeah.
Hey, that was the next point. Best thing. Notice behaviors. It's only 7 days in between Wednesdays, right? So you know what they were like last week? What are they like this week? So is there something that they're acting in? And there's stuff on the psychological realm of like, hey, we need to address that. God needs to do some intervention. But are they acting dangerous? Are they aggravated with somebody here? Who knows we had a fight a year and a half ago? Anybody know about that one? So literally, Connect Group started last year. Doug's out there, thank goodness, safety team member. Kids started pushing way too hard, and I'd already gotten on them one time in the night about, guys, knock it off. Testosterone's flowing, like get off each other. They go down to the end, it went too far. Fist went flying. Luckily, we saw and the cops didn't see it. We could de-escalate it real quick, got a hold of all the parents, made sure, hey, everybody good, nobody went to press charges, like we're good. They're just being boys. Like they're being 16, 17-year-old boys. But that's where we've got to make sure that like, hey, not cool. You're at church, not cool anywhere. Like, how about you have a conversation instead of just being like, I caught the ball better than you ever. And then all of a sudden, like, we're like dead on right next to grandma's out in the Connect group, like getting in their car going, the teens are going wild, beating each other up in the parking lot. Literally, this is what happened. So like Doug's calling me going, hey, what's happening on your side of the world on the church? Like I've got grandma yelling, stop fighting in the bar. So that's real story. Like that's what we have to think about. Where are these kids veering off? Yes, I went to Noah and said, dude, come on. But mandatory reporting. I'm just gonna give you facts. 2 times I've called in the past 3 months. Sunday morning. So our safety team sees it. One of the kids' team saw it. One of them was a parent berating a kid beyond belief in a parking lot, and they never made it into the church. So what do? Eyes and ears, you talked about it, right? A lot of kids, he's like, if the thing that he said, if you didn't catch on to it, if we have the parents' information, we'll have that in the system.
Yeah.
What if it's their first time coming here and we don't? What can you grab before they leave the parking lot?
License.
Or if you tell me which camera they're on, I can find it in about 5 minutes and get a license plate number, and then we can give that to the cop as well. Like that is literally, our guys just walk up. You can see us walk with our phones all the time. We're taking pictures. It's on the phone, sheriff's department. Within 3 minutes, they went to their house that afternoon and had a conversation with the parents, basically to save that kid's life, because who knows what was going to happen, because his dad was eating him alive in the parking lot.
people are dealing with a lot of stressors out there, just like Nikki said. They might not be able to handle their kids at this point. That guy had a lot of stuff going on and never even realized the level of intensity he was throwing at his kid. But, mandatory reporter, we all see it here at church. We're part of the safety team. I'm letting the cops deal with that one. They can call over. So 2 times in the past 3 months, it's happened. If you need something from us, medical, fire, police, call us. We've got all the numbers in our phones. We can call somebody. Usually EMS is here within 4 or 5 minutes, because we're just coming from our kid. Boundaries, last thing I'm gonna say. This is the biggest thing, and to reiterate with Pastor D, if Janelle and I see something, or any of the safety team, we will discuss among ourselves, but make sure you guys remember, especially when you're in that, and if you look at history, 18 to 30-year-old range, there's a step in there where you and your psychological state transfer to an adult. Something has to happen. For me, it was 32. I can tell you for a fact. I was like, okay, now I'm an adult. And it's like, it's already been happening for 14 years. You're in a relationship status of being a mentor to these people. You are all already out of their friend zone. You've got to make sure the boundaries are set there to be able to be a mentor to these people, because they have no idea, like I said in the beginning, their guardrails aren't up. We need to establish them and let them know. Yesterday we talked to the girls and said, you are a child of God.
Yeah.
There's 100% you're a child of God, and being direct and not polite is okay.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you're protecting yourself. In the same way for you all, flip it on you. You need to make sure that if somebody's getting into that, there is okay to be a mentor, but make sure that you're being okay with saying, hey, hold up a second. Love you, but let's get this person in. Somebody else needs to come in here. You never want to put yourself in there, because it's going to ruin your life.
Yep.
But that's where, if you get into a pinch and you see us, yell Charlie, Janelle, we'll come over and stand next to you and be like, what's going on? How you doing? I can play a game like no other. And I can play it off like they don't even know why I'm standing there. And we'll just push them off. But other than that, do you guys have any questions for me? I know I went kind of fast. Go for it.
I want you to answer one thing for me.
Yep.
Because I know we deal with this way more frequently than we probably should. The random guy in the parking lot.
Yep.
What is, I mean, I know you guys are monitoring it, but like, let's say you guys are on one end of the parking lot over there, you've probably already seen the person coming from over before you get there. The leaders are everywhere. What is the course of action? What's the first question you ask? Do we just go get you?
So for me, there's a lot of things in my head. Does the guy have a weapon? If he doesn't, there's a lot of hurting people. The same way those teenagers are hurting, a lot of people are hurting. Every person I've encountered, I've never had to draw a weapon here, and if you can't tell, I'm carrying one right now. But you can't be able to engage somebody. If you were sitting here having a problem, every person that I've engaged here, and if you think that we don't engage people on a weekly basis here, I mean, probably every other week, we're doing a great job, because it happens every other week at least that we have to talk to someone, not in a bad way, but on every ounce of that scale, we interact with somebody from the safety team of being like, hey dude, stop being weird. But, sorry, that's my word. I try to just de-escalate, don't be weird.
Yeah.
I want Derek to actually teach a sermon on that, don't be weird, but he hadn't done it yet.
Hey, youth night, okay.
Yes, so I'm gonna evaluate it. If it's a gun or a knife, you tell everybody to get inside and lock the doors, make sure they can't get in.
Yeah.
Life and limb, like we talked about yesterday, again, sorry, I keep referencing yesterday. The will to survive. Don't freak out, stay calm, and just be like, hey, let's go, let's get in. And there have been times where I've actually told kids waiting for their parents in the evening, hey guys, I'm gonna need you to step inside real quick. And they'll be like, what? Because they're on their phones. And I'm like, get inside. A stern voice, they will be like, yes sir. And they're in the doors and I'm shutting them, and the guy walks up and be like, hey, what's up? Well, I just wanna see what's going on. Nothing that involves you currently. If you'd like to talk about it, go over there, I'll come talk to you, but get away from the kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they'll be like, okay, cool. And they'll be like, no trouble, and then they're gone. Because most of them are hungry, they want food, they want a gift card, they want something from the church, because we are the people, and that's the biggest thing I'll end with in a minute, remind me. But I'll go down, and a simple conversation with these people will de-escalate them in a second. All they want to do is what most kids want. They want to be seen and they want to be heard.
Yeah.
There was a guy here talking garbage at the kids' check-in table a couple years ago, trying to deter every kid from going back in there, said he was a prophet from God himself. So I went to his car and basically said, dude, what's up? And I used that one day thing with them. I was like, if you're gonna have one day with them, if you want these kids to be a follower of God, do you think planting that seed of doubt is worth them having it? And he broke down, bawled, and apologized. All they need to see is that we have that hamster wheel. All of us have it about something. Well, in their mind, when they're coming up, it's just a simple conversation. You can break anybody down by praying for them. Done it multiple times here. People are so hostile, be like, man, before we talk, let's pray. And they're bawling, and they're just like, off the property. Love you, now you're Jesus' problem. Get out. But if they get to that problem, you need to protect the kids, and then you need to call the cops. And the cops will be here. Last Sunday, the cops were here. There were 5 of them within a minute. It's like they were Dunkin' Donuts or something. But it was wild, and like literally had to tell the safety team while watching them on the camera in the auditorium going, hey, service lets out in 20 minutes. They need to roll. Like, we got traffic to get moving. Like, tell them to do their investigation somewhere else. So that's the thing is you just interact with everybody like they're human.
Yeah.
You only know you, and take care of them.
What happens if they make it inside? Because that happened last summer. There was a lady that came in and she got made it through and was wandering around. And I approached her and asked her what was happening. She was like, I've never been here before. What is what's happening? So when they make it inside and they seem harmless at the moment, what are we to do if we can't find you?
Again, make a conversation with them. Say, hey, I am so excited for you to come have your one moment with God.
Yeah.
But right now, this is a youth event. And we have a restricted attendance age range.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you to leave or at least step outside. I'll talk to you about what services we have available on Sunday morning. And then if you'd like, I can give you the phone number of the church or QR code, and you can scan it, or come back tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and they'd love to be able to take care of whatever you need.
Yeah, I've noticed that's happened a couple times. I say it was a year ago, but I think maybe
It's happened multiple
times. But I think it's maybe they blend in and they look
Yep.
harmless, and
Yeah.
so. But I think for us as leaders, we have to be aware of who each other are,
Yes.
because that was scary, and I was kind of upset because she was probably in there for 10 minutes, and then I ran up to her like, hey, but nobody else did it. So I think the biggest thing was like, oh, I thought she was here. I think I heard 2 leaders say that. Oh, I thought she was a leader.
Yeah.
The eyes-
You're gonna like this, Charlie.
Yep.
We're working on getting little, like, the kids badges that we
Yes,
have.
yes.
So I'm not gonna ask you guys to wear the same matching t-shirt every single Wednesday,
Thank you.
but we're gonna work on having lanyards that have youth leader. And if you don't have a lanyard on, and you look like an adult,
Bye.
bye Felicia. Yeah, we're working on getting those made with our new logos. So we can start wearing them.
Is there somebody in this room right now that you're aware of that has the wrong thing on today for church? Look around. There's somebody, and he knows who he is because I already talked to him today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Anybody? I'll let you guys in on a secret. It's because you're XR youth leaders. We don't put this on blast because people will know if they ever want to do something. Eddie's wearing the wrong color.
Stand up.
So whenever that color gets, and this is again, do not put this on blast. I'm trusting you all with this. So you can find all of our stuff at the rescue mission from the church, but you'll never find an XR Kids shirt. And right now the color scheme is blue with green letters. If something happens that gets compromised, we will change the color and the church will buy everybody new shirts. That's how important our kids are to us. So I love the idea of the lanyards, and when you guys are annoyed by wearing a lanyard, that's how much the youth means to us. We don't care. Like that, my safety guys, if he was back in safety today or back in kids, they probably would have stopped him and be like, what are you doing? But we knew Eddie.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is like, okay, if there's a known, if Eddie has a problem, I know it's not gonna be you, but if he has something that comes up, we have an internal communication system that stays within the safety team that'll be like, hey, if you see Eddie and he's wearing a green shirt, we need to stop him because he's not supposed to be in kids anymore. Because we know Eddie serves in kids.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Something that I do every week is with kids in the age range, like you said, that sometimes they're blending in, you can't tell if it's an adult or a child. I'm looking at every name tag I can see, and I yell at kids relentlessly until they put their name tags on. And with the hospital or the check-in team, they've been great since you started it, but like just making sure those kids have a sticker on at all times, because that means that they could not have checked in. They could, like Charlie said, you don't know what happened during that day of school. Some kid could sneak in here and try to start a fight. So getting that kid checked in, we know that all of his information is in the system. We know who he is, why he's here, and how he got here. So just making sure that we have stickers on every single kid is so awesome. And if they say that they lost a sticker, it's so easily to reprint them. I can show you, Molly can show you, all the check-in team can show you. So just making sure you have the stickers on these kids is so important.
That's great.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Is there a preferred number of leaders that would be a quote-unquote magic number to have outside? Because one thing that I've noticed recently is that there are a lot of kids outside and a lot of us are inside. And I've been trying my best to be inside, the outside, the inside, the outside. Is there a preferred number that security would like to
I'm
see?
never gonna put a number on it, but if you have that already in your soul, then you know that number needs to increase.
Okay, yep.
So if the majority of the kids are out, especially in the fall and the spring when it's beautiful and nice and they don't need the air conditioning because their fingers are too sweaty to type on their phones, that's where you need to sorry, I'm bougie on phones and Starbucks drinks, but yeah, the kids walk in with $40 Starbucks drinks, whatever. But that's the thing is we need to make sure that you guys are connecting as well. I don't take that piece away. There's a benefit to you all being together and feeding into each other. We all are growing. But at that point, be like, hey, let's have our conversation outside so we can help them out and just be like, oh, we're running all the way to my eye doctor for another ball for the 18th time tonight. Let's keep it zoned in, or maybe, hey, let's shut down this game because you guys are getting way too wild. But yes, that's the thing is you guys know what right looks like. And if you are thinking it, just do it. You don't need to ask Noah and Hannah, hey, do we need a couple more people outside? Just walk outside and just be able to transition in. You guys own this. This is your thing. They lead it. They answer to PD, but it's that's the thing is you guys own this. This is your world. Embrace these kids.
It's good.
So then I guess this question with Noah too. When we do huddle up and all leaders go into one room, what do we do about
So we
that?
leave one over 18 at check-in, and security's always outside.
Yeah, Janelle and I try to get here by 6:30, by 6:15, but life happens. So.
But we always have an 18-year-old adult, 18 or older.
Is one enough though? Because I've been out there by myself and I'm running and trying to get, I'm just curious because I know I'm running and getting new things to set up, the laptop's not working, the stuff's not working, and there's kids being checked in and then there's new people coming in at the same time. I truly, from staying out there, I don't believe one is enough because it's one with 60 kids. We're growing to 150 kids a week or whatever it looks like.
Yeah.
But they're all there by 6 o'clock, at least half of them. I've been out there by myself. One's not enough.
Yeah, I would want to check in and maybe one outside at least, and maybe another one. Especially because people are figuring out that they can show up early and they can stay late. Yay, Noah, because he's getting the transfer of ownership at 8:30. Because I'm I'm out.
5:30. It's ridiculous.
So, but that's a great thing. What you all are doing. They want to be here. That's the piece that it matters. This matters, and their time with you all is getting them. You don't know anything about their home life. You only know your home life.
Yep.
And these kids are you can see that they're excited to get out of the car, and they have some trauma at home, and they want to be here. And that's where it's I applaud all of you all for being here. Just make sure that definitive line, and if that line starts to get blurry, talk to us. Don't allow yourself to continue to be in, I say, that analogy, that hamster wheel. Talk to us and help us be able to clarify your lines and what the role is. Don't allow yourself to blur, because you don't want to get in that spot. Like PD said, don't be in the newspaper. So,
It's good.
sorry, that's how I text him, PD. So,
Yeah.
Pastor Terry.
Anybody have any safety questions before Charlie's? Okay.
Yes.
I think I speak for most of the Reggies when I say that we already have pretty personal relationships with students who are already in youth. For example, I have a number of a couple different students. Am I to just go ahead and delete those
Nope.
numbers? Should I just worry about setting healthy boundaries in that
Correct.
case?
I'll talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, communication. Yeah.
A lot of these kids are going to share everything. I mean, look at their Instagram. Well, they don't use Instagram. That's for me, the grandpa. I got caught today, grandpa. I'll deal with therapy later, please. But
I'm the one that called him grandpa.
no, you weren't. Somebody else did while I was pushing a baby. Yeah, I was like, what? But you're gonna build relationships with them. You're gonna know them. They're going to have these things, but that's where that's what I was saying. They share their life on Snapchat. They share everything.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, hey, here's my number. Come to the basketball game. Let me send you my schedule. That's healthy. It goes into yesterday. We had a green light, red light thing. Okay, if something is standing up on the back of your neck that this isn't right, it's not right. Just go ahead and say it's not right. Or there's something that needs to be observed and be and it's the same thing with safety. If it clicks, maybe you're the least safety-minded person here, but you're no, this doesn't feel right. It's not right.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and say it's not right. And then we need to adjust something. And a lot of times, love my guy Noah here, but he wants to go so far into the cool dude land that we have to pump his brakes sometimes. But I mean, it's okay.
But you know what I do? I pump my brakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where you all again own it. You can be like, no, this doesn't sound good. You're like, you're right. That maybe we need to change that a second. And it's not by dealing with kids, but it's whatever we're doing out in the parking lot. And I'm like, this isn't gonna be good. You guys did impress me. There was only one bloody knee on Olympics night or whatever that thing was. I was going, my bet was 5.
And this might be in the student ministry protection plan, but if it's not, is there somewhere where our emergency procedures, whether it be severe weather, whether it be active shooters?
We're building it.
Is it somewhere documented?
So we're building it.
Okay.
Currently we're building a action plan.
Cool.
But for you all, for first aid kits, there is one in the Connect Center desk. There's a tiny first aid kit, and then there's a trauma kit right in front of the, like, if you actually need to stop the bleed. There's one in the safety office on the floor. There's also a kit on top of the toolbox, and then if you're in the big auditorium, they have the 2 pillars in front of the sound stage. In between the sound stage and the pillar on the Alpha Bravo side, there's one right on the floor. That is a straight up, if you need a Band-Aid, don't look into it. Tourniquets and stuff, yes. The little Joeys are all around the place. But if you need a Band-Aid, don't get in a trauma kit. You won't find a Band-Aid. It irritated me one day. But
Where's the safety office?
safety office is right underneath that sound stage. So go out here, turn right, and then it's right there where the computer, you can see a computer screen. So that's where our keys are, our everything is in there.
Is there a drill with the kids for barricading?
Say what?
Is there a drill that the kids know even if there's active shooter, somebody have to
No.
barricade or anything?
That's gonna be you all leading that if you have an active shooter, you need to get behind the door and make sure it's closed and locked. And if we have a weather event, we're going into the kitchen or the, you've got the kitchen and you've got the, what do you guys call it? The online room. And then also you've got the broadcast. And you've also got the band ready room as we can go into there. Because more than likely it's coming from the south or west. So everything down on that side will be good. And you can fit everybody in there.
The mandatory reporting sheet is already in the resources on.
I will make it accessible to everybody. It's leaders only right now.
Oh.
So I'll make it accessible. Yeah.
Anybody else? Again, thank you for what you all do. I appreciate it.
Thank
And
you
I
for
know
what you do.
Yeah.
Janelle loves it. So
Yeah.
this is her thing. We both love kids, even though I said they're weird, but we love them. And to me, I never had anybody, I was part of a youth group, but there was never anybody championing like our kids here. And it's awesome to be able to just see everybody like, you have the whole world ahead of you. Like, how can we set you up to win, not only to meet God, but to like win in life. So good work, you all.
Thank you, Charlie. Bye. Bye. Have a beautiful time. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so going into my second month now, like, dead am I here, but, Amanda just said something that kind of like triggered a memory here.
Okay.
So dating myself, going back 20 years when we were youth leaders, like in our, late 20s, our youth pastors actually divided the kids up amongst the leaders. So like, I know like the kids have a tendency to like gravitate toward like,
Sure.
Certain people, but they actually like kind of had all the kids divided up, like this is your youth leader kind of thing. But not to say that like we weren't just like this, like one big group, but like I'm just wondering like if that kind of, I don't know, like has that ever been done? Like, or would that be like a help to
Yeah.
kind of like keep
I'd say the
the
closest thing that we have to that is the Connect group assignments.
Right.
Right. So like with middle school, it's the most separated. Middle school boys is in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade boys. Same with the girls. And usually the leaders in groups are almost always the same. But I would say with the amount of, and this is gonna be the wrong word that I can think of, but like the amount of turnover we have of students, I almost don't feel like we could accurately serve them well by getting them getting
We have
at least
like
a year
an
4
open
kids
door
is,
policy. I feel like it's a very open door policy, so it wouldn't, there's not so much consistency with like school sports and everything.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like with the turnover of
Yeah.
the like, well, these kids will come when they're not in sport this season, and the next
Yeah.
season they'll be here, and it's like so much in the growth, like it's the
Fluctuation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's like 800
Heidi,
students.
you're great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soccer show.
It's already probably, okay, it's 1:56. I'm gonna try to spend less than 10 minutes on this. This is the not so fun part, right?
Okay.
But it's a necessity. And I just wanna say this on the front. I should say this at the very beginning of the night. This mandatory meeting was not called because there was an action that happened that everybody needs to know about, and we're gonna make sure we know. This is something that we try to do every August, and every January. We do a refresher on our ministry protection plan, and now we're trying to add things how we can equip us as leaders, like mandatory reporting and Wednesday night safety. So this isn't like a response to something that happened. This is just a maintenance. Perfect way to put it. Okay, so everybody should, and if you haven't yet, you will not leave here today until you have. Everybody should have signed the ministry protection plan and policy. It's on our resources tab on the Church Center app. At our last training, we had everybody sign this. Nikki's been great about trying to keep up with, but we've had a lot of new leaders over the summer. So I understand that some of you are probably like, what is this? So I have a couple copies printed out you can look at before we leave here today. But it's 14 pages, and it's basically how to protect ourselves, to protect students, and to protect the church. Right?
Yeah.
It's like Charlie would say, it's a guide to not be weird. We don't want to be weird, right? We don't want to be weird. So I don't want to go over all 14 pages. You guys are all accountable adults that I trust to read that document in its entirety and understand that when you sign the last page, your name and signature, and you date it, that you can be held accountable for any action, any item on that policy and plan, right? I don't think I need to read it line by line. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the different areas just because. Cool?
Yep.
And I also want to say this, that I've noticed that there's been maybe some confusion on policy. Well, it says this, but can we do this? And this has happened in the past, and this was okay before, and hey, I've been doing this all summer, or I did this all last school year, or like, hey, this is kind of, I understand that maybe we weren't doing things the exact correct way. Going forward, like today, like when we leave this meeting, going forward, it is black and white with policy. Why do policies exist? To protect ourselves, to protect the students, and to protect the church. And it doesn't matter if we 100% agree or not. It's not a personal thing, it's protection. Your preference doesn't override protection. Capiche? Capiche. Cool. So I'm going to hit a couple of these, and again, these are all very clear in the protection plan and policy. The 2 adult rule. I want to say this can probably cover so many areas of this whole policy, but the 2 adult rule. Our policy specifically says that 2 trained and screened adults should supervise students at all times. What does that mean? No one-on-ones ever, right? You should avoid being alone with any individual student, regardless of gender. If you unexpectedly find yourself alone with a student, you move somewhere occupied where other people can easily see you or observe what's going on. So what does that mean? If a student wants to, like for instance, just last Wednesday, a student was struggling with something. There's a female student, she's experiencing loss in her life, there's a lot of stuff going on, she wants to meet with me, she wants to talk with me, and that leader came to me and she's like, hey, the student wants to meet with you, and I was like, great, hey, we're gonna do this together. So me and this other leader went to the band ready room and closed the door. That's accountability. It was Heidi and another student, right? It would have been appropriate for me to be in that room with both doors closed, regardless of the gender of the student. Head nods? That makes sense? Okay. Any one-on-one should be observable and interruptible. That's going to be the theme. Observable and interruptible. Doesn't mean, like, if you guys are having a one-on-one and you're talking with a student, if I'm on the other side of the room, I might not be able to hear you, and it can only be you 2 talking in here, but I can observe and interrupt if I have to. Right? You can have a one-on-one if it's in an open room and I can see, does that make sense? If you're meeting with a student, discipling a student, having a difficult conversation, you're talking through something serious, you should never be isolated. And that does not mean, right now, your first instinct is probably, they trust me, and like I'm a confidant to them. That's great. You don't have to be alone in the conversation. Why? It just protects you, the student, and the church. Yes.
I'm going to ask a stupid question.
Yeah.
This doesn't apply to my children, right?
Okay.
For my own children.
Yeah. So, I'm going to get a little bit later in here. Yep. Same with you, Mama. Same with you, because I was asking the question. I'm like, man, but she has kids. Never, of course kids can stay at your house. You're a mom. Your kids live with you. Like, that's a not, like, you know, but yes.
Reporting it, maybe they did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, right? You are a parent. Yes.
You can't beat your kids.
Yes, but yeah, being in the kitchen, right? That's observable and interruptible. Right?
Being in the kitchen with the door closed.
I'd be fine.
It's your kids.
My children.
And you drive your.
Unless I'm abusing them or berating them.
Correct.
then fine.
Yes. You're
James,
good.
any comments?
No comment.
Okay, good examples is talking to a student in the Connect Center at the lobby, right? That's private, but it's observable and interruptible.
Yeah.
Sitting at a table with people nearby you, right? That we have the table set up in the lobby. You can sit at one end of the table and there's people near you. You can have a pretty private conversation, right? One-on-one if you're sitting across from somebody at a table. Anywhere with the doors open, and the best is 2 adults present, right? Yes.
Just because when we come in here, sometimes there's a couple people under safeties out there, but what happens when like kids are overwhelmed and they need space? So like, and they want to go out in the hallway, how do we handle that scenario?
Yeah. Now, I'll kind of let you bounce this idea off of you. So I would say observable is somewhere there's also cameras. Yeah. So there's cameras in the hallway, there's camera in this room. So if a student wants to walk out into the hallway, there's cameras covering pretty much every angle. And again,
Regardless
that's a
of gender.
Yeah, I would say it's a shared. I mean, girls should be with girls, and boys should be with boys, right? Now let's say like it's 150 kids up here, we're all worshiping, and you're over here, and a student comes up to you and you're like, I need to go out by myself, and it's a boy. Cool. You look for the closest leader, and you say, hey, Andy, can you take him out to the hallway? Right? Why? So we want to protect students, ourselves, and the church.
Yes.
It's the theme. Not good examples of this is being in a closed room setting. Like if you guys would go to the band ready room and shut the door, or if you guys were to go in the kitchen and shut the doors. If you were to go to a kid's classroom, even though there's glass and there's like, again, closed door setting, regardless, yes.
So I think like, what are they youth while they're serving on Sunday? Like, am I allowed to be as a servant leader alone with a youth servant leader in a room?
In what capacity?
Kids leave and like they're helping clean up or something.
So every kid room has a camera. You know, the door is open. Right? Yeah. I would say if you're in a room, we try, okay, and feel free. I'm really going to defer to Pastor James on some of this because we had talked through some of these items, and at the end of the day, policy is policy. And this is the policy that the church leadership has agreed to, and we're going to try to uphold all of it. Right? We will, not try. Yeah, I would say, especially in the kids' wing, there's cameras everywhere. There's glass on every door. I just wouldn't, if I'm you and I'm in studios, I'm not taking any student into the closet room and shutting the door behind us by ourselves. And I know you're not going to do that, but that's like, again, if you guys have to go in there, leave the door open.
This has happened because I understand what David's asking because we serve in studio and we have majority student leaders
yeah.
helping us 90% of the time.
Yeah.
We need more of you guys to come help. That would be great. Just shut up.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Anyway, but there is a XR Kids break room.
Sure.
So when I've gone in there a couple times, you'll have like Zach or Heaven or Harmony follow me in there.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, they're my peer in that room. I'm just saying that out there. Do
Who
I
is?
meet Zach?
A student?
According to us, according to them back there, not to this. So
Okay.
Heaven, Harmony, Zach. I'm just thinking that because it's happened to me before. I have been in there eating my snack, trying to chug my drink real quick before the next service. They'll come in here and grab the snack too.
Yeah.
There's a closed door that closed automatically.
Yeah. There is a camera in that room.
Okay, cool. That was
Yeah.
my question because I was
Yeah.
like, that has happened a couple of times, and I think it was more like
Yeah.
for us, we're with them kind of one-on-one, but there's doors that are closed.
Yeah. So we can defer to the like.
I immediately chug and just walk out, but I'm
Yeah.
like, but I want to finish my snack.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right.
I think like some of it too, like Charlie said, like if you feel like it's weird, it's probably weird. So
Yeah.
like if you feel like, oh, I maybe shouldn't be alone in the room with them, if it's just us, like leave, just walk out. So a lot of it is like your discretion too.
Because
like
even
Nick
though we're
said-
peers with them, we're serving next to them, we're still the adult.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
minor.
yeah, they're still a minor, we're still an adult. So again, if you're by yourself in there, you're eating a snack, and Zach and them come in, just hey, leave the door cracked, would you?
Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to.
It doesn't stay open, it shuts automatically.
It's automatically?
That's what I learned. I use that example because it happened to me.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk to Kayla about not making that automatic closing door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, but it's just like, they're just the things that we just, awareness.
Yeah, okay. A couple of other bad examples of this is sitting alone in a vehicle with a student, private one-on-one hangout at home. Obviously, it doesn't apply to the parents. Okay. You're like I'm never one-on-one with my kids. Yeah. Okay. I want to be very clear at this point about the 2-adult rule. It's not about me being suspicious or the church or leadership being suspicious of intent or anything like that. The goal is transparency, right? The same rules that apply for you guys are the same rules that apply for me, right? This is transparency. It's not because I'm questioning or anybody's questioning character. It's how can we be as clear as possible. There's no gray. We don't want gray. Gray's where bad things happen. Yes, Nick?
Just for clarity, and I want it to come out in your mouth so I can refer back to the youth when they ask.
Okay.
We are no longer allowed to drive.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get in transportation. We're heading that. Okay. 2-adult rule makes sense?
Yes.
Somewhere, if always visible with the student?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Question, because this was probably before I became a helpful youth leader. I was asked by to know and to go to the bathroom to help out a youth talk. And I went in to help, and one of the things saying two youth leaders with one. It is me when in talk. Should there have been 2 with 1?
Yeah, I think it's always rather be safe than sorry. You think about a female student by herself in the bathroom and you want to go with her, it's easy to, hey, T, will you come with me? We're gonna go to the bathroom and see if she's okay. And that way, right, and I don't, there's no cameras in the bathrooms, right? No. That's illegal.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. But, right, we always have to be mindful because there could be a girl or a boy having a meltdown in the bathroom by themselves, and you want to go, oh man, hey, are you okay? And you're comforting them, and then they come out and they'll be like, oh, that leader touched me in there.
Exactly.
We're not protecting ourselves, the student, or the church at that point, right? That's a good question, though. Okay, we're gonna hit relationships outside of youth group. This is specifically like outside of Sundays or Wednesdays. Policy specifically says, a couple bullet points here. Never be alone with a minor in unobserved context. Kind of hit that. Avoid inappropriate one-on-one relationships. Never spend the night at a student's home or invite a student to spend the night at your home. Do not spend the night in any away location with a student. I think it's important to kind of hit these because as a default, we can think to ourselves like, okay, but I asked for parent permission. The parents were cool with it. It's okay. Parent permission is important. We want parents involved, right? We want to partner with parents to pastor their kids. But parental permission does not override church policy.
Correct.
Make sense? If our policy says something is not permitted, it doesn't matter what the parents say. Well, I'm okay with it. It's cool, I get it. I love that you're okay with that. But since I'm a youth leader and I've agreed to serve these kids this way, I can't participate in that.
So like with Katrina and I, since we work with each other friends outside the church, Nevaeh is not allowed to stay in my house. I'm just clarifying that.
In the policy, because I did read it, it does say that if there is a previous established relationship, it needs to be reported to the church. So
Yes.
those are things where I think where like you're kind of getting involved because you probably have youth friends that want to spend the night at your daughter's house and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's where
So
there
that-
is a
there
specific.
isn't a disclaimer for.
And I'm gonna get to and again, you have a daughter who is in youth group. You're gonna have youth students stay at your house. They're gonna ask to do it, right? Same thing with you had students staying at your house last weekend. Your mom with you, whatever. Again, we're gonna get to this in a little bit, but the best thing to do is ask.
That's why I met Nevaeh here, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, in the moment, if you're like, oh, hey, if you're ever confused, if everything's unclear, just ask. We'll review policy together. Like, hey, this is exactly what the policy says. Okay, this is the relation. Cool. We'll either green light or red light. Yeah, no, you're good.
Sorry, one more question.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're making a really good point, because the kids saw the youth leader paper sitting on my table, and they're just like, but we're always together, and
Yeah.
you're a youth leader now, and what are you gonna do? So
Yeah.
it's
I
What do
think
say?
I think when I was talking with James about this,
Yeah.
you said something, I might misquote you, so feel free to jump in whenever. But we have to, we can't ask you to not be a mom.
Right, and in all honesty, as someone who was abused as a child, I am super, uber protective over my kid. Like,
Right.
Lorelai does not sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
That's just my hard and fast rule. Now, I am more than welcome, I have kids sleep over my house, that's fine, because I am, mama bear, I am watching like all the time. So that's fine, but like, that's my prerogative. So now, what say you? Like, what's like the final, like,
Yeah.
so like she's having, cause she's part of the youth group.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm mama bear, but a lot of
When I
kids
was,
go
yeah,
to
I
the
think
group.
that we defer to, you're still a mom.
Yeah.
You still have a daughter who has teenage friends.
Yeah.
I think we can't not allow you to be a mom to your daughter. And
Right.
Correct, yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you have any questions, we're happy to talk specifics,
Yeah.
but in general, if your kids are there and you are a mom in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
If your kid wasn't there, that'd be different.
be really weird. Be really, really weird.
Didn't it suddenly feel weird, right, when he was like, if your kid wasn't there? Everybody's like, ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, we're gonna know, like, this is weird, it's not weird.
Yeah, me drink, I'm sorry.
Also, I think this is good. I know it's like uncomfortable, I feel like we're going too far, but this is why. Like,
Yeah.
it's worth figuring this out. Just because again, the good and bad outcomes are like, good is nothing happens. Bad is your life is ruined.
Literally.
The church is like, it's a really bad deal. So it is worth like going through the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
It's serious.
Now, policy is very clear that there are some specific events, if they're a ministry approved event where overnight stay is allowed, i.e. camp,
Yeah.
right? Youth con. There was a few years ago, there was like a youth boys camp out where there was multiple youth leaders. Parents had to register their students. The parents knew what they were signing up for. It was approved through church leader, all of those. If you take the right steps, there are certain scenarios where things like that can be approved. But there's specific requirements on them, right?
It's like church sponsored though, so like church sponsored.
Ministry approved events. Yep. So like the ministry, if the church ministry approves the event, yep. So it'd have to have just a few things. It'd have to have ministry supervisor approval. So even if you rank to me, I don't even think I'm qualified. I would go to James, and then James, if he doesn't know, he would ask pastor. So we need ministry supervisor approval, parent permission, obviously, a clear, specific child safety plan. Like, oh, hey, in the instant something happens, this is what we're gonna do. Appropriate student to leader ratio, and Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. The question we don't ask ourselves or students or parents, like, hey, is everybody comfortable with this? Is everybody comfortable? We comfortable? We ask the question, does this fall within our ministry protection plan?
Yes.
Right? Cool. We're gonna hit comms and technology. I hate social media. Okay, policy says communication should be above approach. Group texting is preferred whenever possible. Jaden, this is kind of what you're saying. Charlie probably had no idea what you're talking about. Recently graduated interns. You have a lot of friends who are students. You probably text them privately. Group chats are your best friend. Your absolute best friend. Bringing in another adult, an accountability partner, into if you have to communicate with somebody. If a student messages you and they're trying to talk to you, the best thing to do is, hey, I'm gonna create a new group chat. Hey, I added Sophie into this thread. Hey, let's continue the, hey, I just wanna bring her in. She might have some good insight on it too. Why? It protects you, it protects the student and the church. This is a big, this should be, I feel bad even saying this, but let me just say it. Our communication with students should be something we're comfortable putting on a screen in front of their parents. Their pastor, or the ministry team here. Right? Like, if you're messaging a kid and you're like, oh man, it would suck if somebody saw this. You're wrong. You're so wrong. We have to be careful, and again, it's one slip up will cause years, could be decades of trauma. So just being super mindful about that. Yeah, and if you're ever uncomfortable with somebody else seeing your conversation, so like, let's say, for instance, and like I need to follow up with you about this, but the band app, right? Like I would love to get an app for all leaders to be able to communicate with students, and then the admins would be able to see all conversation threads, right? But we don't have that right now. So there are situations where students text you, or students reach out to you, or students DM you on social media, or like whatever it is. If you ever, like let's say if Gavin was texting a student and they'd been like, hey Gavin, do you mind if I look at that conversation thread? If there's any ounce of Gavin that's like, ooh, no, that's wrong, right? We always want to be like, oh yeah, full transparency. Yeah, you know what, yeah, we did message them, hey, this is actually what was said. Group chat to your best friend. Rule of thumb that's in the policy is we should not be texting students before 7 a.m. or after 10 p.m. Unless it's like a trauma, like unless they're like, no, like, hey, I'm really struggling with something, can you please help me? It's an emergency, you know. Obviously, pastor them in that moment, yes.
So in that scenario, like if a youth, I have had a youth reach out to me like
Yeah,
11 p.m.
I'm sure.
Hey, can I call you? And I was like, yeah.
7 p.m.?
11.
Oh, 11 p.m. Yeah, yeah.
It was like a emergency situation.
Absolutely.
Which in the scenario was.
Yeah.
Is that something that we should then relay to you? Like,
I think going forward, anything that looks like it could have been a question on policy, getting leadership in the communication circle is great. And like you've done this, hey, a student asked me to do this, I'm not sure if it's okay, I just want to let you know. You've done that to me. That's great. That's the best thing that you can do. Like say a student calls you, even if it's not that I don't, like at that moment, I can care less about the policy. Is the kid okay? Like, if they called you 11:45 last night, I would love to, hey, man, this student called me, they're really struggling with this. I want to let you know, we talked on the phone for an hour last night. This is kind of what we talked about. This is where I led him. Hey, just be praying for him this week, but I also just want to bring you in the loop. You know, it's kind of one of those like middle of the night conversations.
Yeah. What would, you said 6 a.m. after 7 p.m. or?
So basically 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Okay.
Like that's just like the standard healthy, you know, Marcia.
Should be sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Marcia gave this teaching yesterday at Defend Terror for students, and one of Marcia's golden rules, Marcia and Dustin, nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah.
Period. Bad decisions start to be made at 10, right? But then nothing good happens after midnight. So realistically, 10 p.m. is our cutoff. You know, if a kid messages you on social media late night, look at it in the morning.
Yeah.
Cool. When it comes to social media, remember, outside of these four walls, you are representing Crossroads Church and Crossroads Youth Leadership. I mean, okay, I'll say it. Like, guys, be appropriate. How you portray yourself on social media is how the students will see you. They are so used to people being fake. That is their life, is the inauthenticity of social media. How they see you portray yourself on social media is how they will see you regardless of how you come on a Sunday or a Wednesday. What does that mean? You're not wearing, girls, like you're not wearing booty shorts and crop t-shirts and taking gym selfies and posting them on your story. We're just not, right? It's modesty. We want to teach these girls how to honor their, respect themselves and love themselves, but then yet we're going to the gym and we're posting half-naked photos of ourselves, right? Alcohol, right? We have you guys can do what you want in your private time to an extent, right? If you go out with some friends and you go get some drinks, cool. Don't post it on social media, right? If you're somewhere that's maybe not again, I know like we're all kind of in that generation where it's like, oh, social media, we want to put everything online, want everybody to see what we're doing. Please just be mindful about what you post, because anything that we do in like moderation, it could be one post of one drink, the students will do an exaggeration. That's how it works. Like when it comes to bad stuff, like anything we do in moderation, they'll do an exaggeration. When it comes to good stuff, it's inverse. We can try really, really hard, like read a Bible 5 times and they'll read it like once. But yeah.
Also, this goes with boundaries. The amount that you let them in is the amount that they will see. Like, so if you let them in all the way, which, be careful, they will see everything.
Yep. Yeah. policy asks to maintain a high moral standard, social media presence, to make sure photos, videos, posts, likes, shares, they reflect the church's expectations regarding alcohol, tobacco, modesty, and appropriate content. So I mean, that's even like when you post a story and you have an audio, a sound, a song on your story, listen to the song.
Yes.
Like, I have been guilty of like this one student who doesn't come to our youth, but he's been, you know, whatever. I know this kid, he came like detailed my car one time, and he like posts a picture of my car and puts it on a story and tags me. And I'm like, cool, I'll share it. I want to like give the kid his flowers. Well, I didn't even listen to the song that was tagged to the video, and it's like, F this, F that, we're gonna, and I'm just like, Pastor Kayla texted me and was like, hey, cool, you got your truck detailed, but like, that's crazy. And I was like, oh. But it's, again, it's like, oh yeah, oops, that's okay. We can make mistakes, but we can't make it twice, right? So, if you post a song and you're like, ooh, I love like this like trendy sound. Yeah, what's the whole song say? Just because it has a couple lyrics that are cool doesn't mean it's not this nasty. I mean, I don't listen to secular music anymore. So like, I'm so oblivious to songs nowadays. But I'm like, it's so easy to like have a cool little punchy, and then like the rest of the song's vulgar.
Yep.
So just be mindful when you post things on social media. I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, well, I don't want my personal account to look like a church account. You don't need to, right? You just need to make sure that the stuff that you're posting and the content that you're sharing, you would be okay if I went through everything here on the screen in front of all of the parents who are here on a Wednesday night, of the students that are here. Yes?
I feel like, is that, like, if I don't really care, but like, if my account's private and I don't allow youth to follow me, is that a different scenario?
No. I would say, why would you hide your actions? It's like putting stuff on your private story. You're still doing it. You know what I mean? You're still putting it out there for somebody to see. And social media has a way of circling its way back.
Everything
I've seen
the dark will be brought to light.
Yes. You know how many times I've seen private screenshots of students' private stories on Snapchat that either leaders or parents or students are showing me like, hey, this is what's happening, you know, whatever. So even if you think you're private, you can have the most private account you want. Yeah, I'm just saying. I know you're in it, yeah, but I'm just saying. You can have the most private account that you want. If you're gonna post something online, it's not private.
Well, I also think like a mention of like what you like of youth is important too. What are you affirming? So like if a youth is posting a picture of them drinking, like I mean obviously,
Yeah.
like wearing a shirt that says like marijuana is cool and you like it because the first picture is them smiling in the mirror and then every picture after is like worldly. Yeah. They're like my youth leaders like.
Yeah, so I low-key, I have been guilty, not of that, but like there's one student who posted like a beach thing.
I was just gonna say, let's be very careful of guys following young girls and youth who are posting photos on the beach. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's just scroll over.
Yep. I liked someone's post because it was like a picture of them at like family dinner. And I was just like, oh, cool, they're on vacation. Double tap, swipe. And then like somebody was like, oh, you like that? And I went back and it was like 4 pictures over. She's like in a bikini on the beach. And I'm like, ugh! Unfollow. Yeah, does that make sense? You guys all tracking? Cool. Why does social media, 225, cool, I'll wrap it up. Thank you. Why does social media matter so much? Because the students follow you. They do, like, regardless of what you think, oh, like, no, they're not watching me. They are watching you. They're watching everything that we do. Okay, this one is, I'm gonna be as clear about policy here, and again, what we did in the past, we're not gonna do anymore. Going forward, we're doing this. Cool? Yeah. Capiche? Cool. Transportation. Policy requires any transportation to have 2 approved adults when transporting minors. You have to have the student's parents' permission, and students are dropped off where an approved adult is present. Obviously, there's no transporting minors without parental permission, period. But if you're going to travel with students, 2 adults, parent permission, dropped off where an adult is present. Capiche?
Just with the permission, how do we want to clarify that we got it like through call to you guys or
integrity,
like verbal or written?
I'm gonna trust that everybody here has integrity, and that if you tell me their parents are okay with it, I don't need to go behind you and ask their parents. Yes.
Also, I've heard someone say before, if you protect yourself with stuff that's written down. So,
Yeah.
if you just ask them to send you a text, great, you have it forever, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
because that
but I'm
protects-
not, if you show up, you and T bring a handful of students to youth, I'm gonna trust that you've gotten parental permission.
Yeah.
Now, if something happens and I feel like I need to ask you about it,
Sure.
we can, so if you feel like you need to document, well, hey, look, actually, when I got there, I went and asked him, we talked to him, it was cool, I got the front, great, sweet.
I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
Yes, Andy?
I have 3 questions.
3, love it.
First, as far as the language for students, if they're reaching out to us and saying, hey, can you give me a ride to church on Sunday morning? Hey, can you give me a ride to church? And it's, for example, me, Kayla, David, like the people who
Have been doing it.
by themselves, no offense.
Singles.
But, singles,
Yeah.
right. What does the language look like in response to the kid?
I think we can quote policy.
I've been getting that in policy.
Yeah, be like, hey,
Yeah, I've been doing
actually,
that a lot
in review of
recently.
like church leadership policy for youth, I'm actually not allowed to be by myself with any students in the car. So if you do need a ride, maybe ask this couple or this couple, or, you know, maybe me, I can go pick up David and me and David can come carpool and pick you up. But until that, we just can't.
Sure. Second question. As far as parents are concerned, when they're picking up, like they have their kid in the car, and then they go to pick up another kid and they're like their friends, right? So like, for example, I'm gonna use Nevaeh as an example. And like, Katrina goes to pick up like Nevaeh's friends with her.
Sure.
What's the policy on that?
Oh.
Mommy rule again.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think mom trumps that.
Okay.
I was gonna ask about that too.
Yeah. I didn't understand what you were asking at first,
Yeah,
but
yeah, like-
she's by herself with her daughter and picking up her
Exactly.
daughter's friends. I think in that moment, she's a mom bringing students to youth group.
Okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question.
Pastor, James, we're good there?
Yep.
Everybody good with that one?
Yep.
It's your sister, you have a relation, it's completely different.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes she brings her friends.
your sister,
Yep.
yeah.
And
Third question.
Third rule, final rule, or third question. So I don't want to volunteer another couple, right?
Sure.
I don't want to look at a student and say, hey, yeah, Teresa and Miguel will pick you up, or hey, reach out to them, because then that might put them in a situation where they're like, man,
Sure.
we're working, like, we're not gonna be able to, right?
Yeah.
So what, I would guess, would be the response from the church in that? Like, is there something that we could get, like a van or something like that?
If
where
we had a
can-
church van that we didn't
Yes.
donate,
Yeah.
I would have 100% had that running and
Yeah.
asked 2 volunteers to drive it each week.
Yeah.
But right now, we do not have
Okay.
any van that we can use for picking up kids.
Okay. I guess.
Unless there's somebody
What
who
person-
has a van and wants to get here, like, and like, we can talk through this a little bit more as we progress, but I'm not opposed to like, oh, somebody has a van, and okay, I'm gonna get to the church at 5:15, and I'm gonna pick up Andy, then me and Andy are gonna go around and pick up a van full of kids and drop them off.
Right.
That's okay, because there's 2 adults,
Right.
it's a 2 adult rule. When it comes to like volunteering people, rule of thumb, like, don't volunteer somebody without asking them, don't volunteer
Yeah.
anybody, right? So like, unless you know Miguel and T, and you're like, unless you text me like, hey, so-and-so's asking me for a ride,
Yeah.
you guys know I'm not allowed to do it, would you be available?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, how about you ask Miguel, you know,
Okay.
that's what that would look like.
Multiple times
Just-
I've had to tell like Cam and Zach, like,
Yeah.
I can't take
Yeah.
you personally,
Yeah,
because
and
of the
I-
rules.
and
Let me
I didn't-
find someone.
And I don't like telling kids like, hey, I can't do this, because it looks like you don't care.
But there's power,
There's
but there's power in your, no,
Right,
that's
exactly.
teaching
That's
them,
why.
that's teaching them boundaries.
Right.
Yes.
Right,
And,
exactly.
Correct.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
even,
for sure.
even teaching them like, but hey, you used to do it all the time. Hey, dude, I understand, and that was wrong. I put you,
Right.
and I put you, myself, and the church in a situation
Right.
where any of us could have been compromised.
Right.
Going forward, we can't do that.
Right.
I think it was because, I know we're moving forward, that's what I want to clarify is.
Sure.
Where I think the confusion was is like, I know I asked that question.
Yeah.
And then you addressed it and said if it's a part of our ministry, so I think that's kind of where our hearts kind of went.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and the kids have had that, but I do have a question, that was just an addressment of the situation. Moving forward, I think that's easy, the kids are kind of used to it, we've been speaking it over the
Yeah.
last couple weeks.
It's great.
However, there's been situations where maybe the kids, because they're used to it, have been like, hey, my parents are gonna drop me off, and then they get left.
Yeah.
What do we do? Because I know that happened last week Sunday, and I forced the kids to come to you guys, and it was all of us were single adults. How do we handle that?
With that being said, Zach is here because Heaven and Harmony left, and he assumed that I was gonna give them a ride out.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what do we do?
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. What do we do? Like, we don't want to just leave them.
Yeah.
And their parents
So,
are not.
yeah, to be like, let's just be real for a second. Part of ministry is making sacrifices. So there's gonna be some Wednesday nights where there's gonna be a couple who drives here and, hey, you guys are actually the only ones left that can bring them home without their parents getting here calling them an Uber. Would you guys mind taking them? Like sometimes that's that, hey, man, it's late, I gotta work early in the morning. Or it's like me and Hannah, and we drive separate every week because I'm here all day. Hey, we're gonna leave your car here, we're gonna go drive them home with our kids in the van, and then I'll come back here and get my car, and then we'll go home. That's that, somebody's gonna have to make a sacrifice, and at the end of the day, I will make it if nobody else will. Does that make sense? Yes. Cool. And there's also like, that goes the same as like, if it's you two, if it's Nick and David, and you're like, oh, he needs to ride home, cool, hey, let's leave my car here, I live 5 minutes for the church, let's go drive it home together, come back, drop me off here, and I'll go home. Yeah, Nick?
Does gender affect anything with that? So
You
say
should never be alone with a girl.
Okay, but then let's put Zach, Heaven, and Harmony. They all three need to go to the same place. Are we expected to find Heaven and Harmony at different 2 women, and then me and David take home Zach? Okay.
Just one alone with them.
Yeah.
It's 2 adults.
So obviously mixed
So me
company.
and Nick can take Heaven and Harmony.
As long as Zach is there. That's my question.
No.
Okay.
Have
So
to
then,
have.
2 adults.
So,
yeah, so me and David are there.
Me and Nick can
James,
take home
can 2 adult males take home 2 adult females by themselves?
Or how about this? I'll make it harder for you. 2 adult males take 1 female home by
That's what I was
yourself.
thinking, yeah.
Two, don't put the 2 females in place.
No.
No. The answer is no. I think, again, I can look back at, there is something specific in policy about not being alone with the opposite gender, and I think the 2 adult rule, again, if it's David and Danielle, sure, right? But if it's like David and Andy, and it's 2 teenage girls, don't be weird.
Sounds great. See, we did it. We
Yeah.
did it. That was weird.
Who you say the 2 girls?
Yes, sir.
Don't get weird.
Okay. Bro, absolutely. Go eat, yeah.
I do have a question.
All right,
Or
David.
Maybe not it is a question, but it's also just something I've thought about. So I do think that there is, I'm sure everybody knows who they are, a group of children who don't have parent and home support to get them here. I have a challenge potentially for a lot of us who haven't normally done transportation and things like that.
Sure.
To try to work together to attempt to, I don't wanna say rotate and
Yeah.
necessarily schedule necessarily, but
No, but I mean, I agree.
mentioned, like, yeah.
Like it burned me out for.
So, but with that being said, I think we have 50 youth leaders.
Yeah.
I don't think it is asking too much to potentially, again, challenge people to come together to solve that thing, because I think the alternative is children get left at home and don't get church.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think the solution, like I said earlier, one of the solutions, because, no offense, there's a lot of singles in here. Like, that's a reality. There's a lot of single young adults. I wasn't calling you out, bro. Yeah, no, but the reality is there are a lot of single young adults, and a lot of you get here early to set up for youth. Cool, 2 people who come set up early for youth, you guys are actually gonna take the car that has the most seats and go pick up some kids.
Yeah.
You guys are equipped to make those decisions if you're following policy.
Could we start, like, I know we don't have a million threads.
We only have 5.
Okay, well, it feels like a million. Can we start one more thread? Like, I will personally, I get home from work around like 4:45, I will hop in a car with whoever wants. Any Wednesday, to
Love
have
it.
that second
Get
adult.
to church.
But, can we have like a thread for rides? And also Cam and Zach and all of them do tend to ask pretty last minute, we've talked to them about that, but like, so that way we could just be like, hey, this person needs a ride, what can we coordinate?
Yeah, and as we build it, we can do that. And as we build a system, we can put a very clear cutoff, because you're gonna leave the church at this time, and you guys plan to be back at the church at this time.
Yeah.
If they text you after this time, you can't go get them.
Yeah.
And it's not your job to ask them if they need a ride,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
So that, we can work all those logistics out.
Okay,
But,
cool.
transportation, clear?
Clear.
Yeah.
Kind.
Hold it,
Cool.
he's going.
Just
Oh,
one.
yeah.
So, is there, I don't think it was, I guess like plain and simple, like, is there a disclosure of some sort, or I guess permission from a parent that allows them to be driven?
By
Or is that-
themselves?
No, like if
So
we
if
were
you-
to drive somebody, there's a permission slip that has to be filled out to be able to.
I wouldn't say a permission slip, but it is the adult's responsibility, the youth leader's responsibility.
Actually, I think you whenever.
Yeah, it is the youth leader's responsibility to receive parental permission, whether that's via text message, phone call, when you pull up to the house. Oh, cool, my parents aren't home. Oh, hey, cool, really quick. Can you give me their number? I'm gonna text them and make sure this is okay.
Right, yeah, okay.
That's the leader's responsibility to obtain parental permission and drive them.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't.
Do not believe the kid.
Yeah, you need to have
physical parent.
Whether you talk to them on the phone
Yeah.
or text message.
I would almost like the real estate in me is like text message. Like,
Right, yeah. Transportation. Clear? Clear. Okay, physical boundaries. I'll go really quick through this. Don't be weird. This goes for males and females. All the guys, I'm just gonna talk to you really quick for a second. Teenage girls are weird. They are. They're touchy and feely. It is what it is. We are the only ones that can tell them no, right? So if a girl, teenage girl, like, come here, you come here. Like, he's the adult male, I'm the teenage girl. If teenage girl comes up to you and she's like, oh my gosh, I missed you. You know what you do? As they're coming like this, you just hit them with, it's good to see you. Side hugs, side hugs. We love side hugs. We love side hugs. You know what we don't love? We don't love this right here. None of this. None of this side hug. We don't touch it here. The girls don't touch us here either, guys, okay? If a girl goes to hug you and they're here, you just give them like one of these. You like kind of like slide away from them, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. It's something weird to make it weird. Yeah, we're never like full frontal hugging a girl, ever. Side hugs. Side hugs. They want prayer, right?
oh, sorry. Actually, I'm up here.
Yeah, prayer. Yeah, you're not touching my hips. Okay. Prayer, like, again, it's one of these. Males would never like one-on-one with a girl praying. We can always bring a female into it, regardless of like, it's one of these, you know, we're not doing, you know, we're not all up in there. All up in the business. We don't want to be weird. Don't be weird. Yeah, yeah. Girls, I've actually had a leader talk to me about some students being weird with touching. If you're a female leader in here and you are not comfortable saying something to the student, I will say something. I will advocate for you. Kids are oblivious. They don't think anything's wrong if they come sit next to you and they put their hand on your thigh and they're like, hey, how's it going? You just got, depending on your life, your trauma, your experience, you just got touched, right? And if you don't feel comfortable, please say something to me. I will gladly, kindly talk to the student and say, hey, we should be mindful. Hey, when we're touching leaders, we're not touching them there, right? Capiche? High fives, fist bumps, handshakes.
I was just gonna say, Cam, he's just very like over like loving and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's some Sundays walk in or Wednesdays walk in, like he'll just like see me and just like grip on me for like 5 seconds hug.
Yeah.
Like, and I like in my mind I'm like, oh, like I'm
You're
like
just trying to be
I'm
friendly.
aware.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, what that looks like, you just stand back up. So you're probably walking in and Cam's like, yo, Tay, where my hug at, right? Right?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
You literally, as you get here, just don't get shoulder to shoulder. Just
Yeah.
go sideways immediately. Immediately. And then that's going to cause him to try to reach around you or like, he'll know that's weird.
Yeah.
Right? So if he's coming up to you and he's going for a hug, you just immediately step sideways. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Glad you're here.
Okay.
Give him a little pat. Or high five. Or doubling up. Hey, where my hug at? Double knuckles. Give him a step on. Yeah. Hit him with the Heisman. Or just walk away from it. No, just like keep back yourself in the corner. No.
I feel like the first.
Okay, guys, I'm so sorry this is taking way longer than I expected. Yes.
It's kind of based off of that with the touching. What about like inappropriate comments? Because I've had some students that will make inappropriate comments, and I don't really know how to like.
Yeah. Okay. If you're not comfortable in the moment shutting down a comment, you come find me. I will go address the kid one-on-one.
I'm not more comfortable with that Kayla saw that in the way.
I like how you kind of.
I kind of like de-escalated.
Yeah, I would say if you can't find me, Andy, David, great resources when it comes to pastoring boys.
Literally, I like when how David did it one time. Like, it was just like some weird comment. I don't know who made it, but he was like, "That sounds like something that shouldn't be said at church." Like, just something simple like that.
Well, I think I was gonna say on the flip side of it is being straightforward or being like, I'm not really comfortable talking about that. I'm not comfortable with that. So
And like with the students, if you don't want them to hug you, saying something as simple as like, I'm not a hugger, like putting your arms
Yeah.
up, even like, hey, I'm not a hugger, like we can have five. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm having a rough day. Or,
I'm a germaphobe,
yeah,
don't touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be weird. You can make it like, oh, no, thank you.
Okay. Any questions on touching? Yes.
Same thing with family?
You're a brother to your sister.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're asking
I have a
about.
cousin that comes here too.
Okay. There. I mean, don't be weird with your cousin. Right?
Yeah, Jane, don't be weird, brother.
Here's the rule of thumb. If you ever think to yourself, if this was photographed, this would be weird, it's weird. Right? Okay. We talked about mandatory reporting. Literally, when in doubt, just report it. Please, please, for the sake and the safety of students. If you have any feeling, an inkling, I don't know, something just felt wrong. Like there was a moment where there's a student, relatively recently, where they were talking to Hannah, and they were saying, my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. And Hannah said to me, she's like, I think she's talking about herself. That's the Holy Spirit, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta lean into it. Even if you're wrong, it's worth it to report it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, they're talking about their friend a lot. They don't name them, they don't say who they are. It's like, but. Kids will communicate, they'll test the water with you to see how you'll react,
Yeah.
to see if they can, does that make sense? So if you have an inkling of a feeling, ooh, something's off, please say something. Yeah, okay, we're kind of done.
Can I ask a question about the Connect group real quick?
Yeah.
We have journals that we give to the girls' name right in them. Is that still appropriate?
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to make sure because of like there's sometimes they'll write stuff in there.
it's fine.
Okay.
As long as you're cool with it getting publicized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Like if they were to take a picture and post it on social media, you're not being weird.
Okay. So I was
Yeah.
going to do it again this.
Yeah, I mean, I write handwritten letters to a lot of students, congratulating them for graduating or getting to a new school year or just being awesome. There's nothing wrong with a personal handwritten letter,
Okay.
right? And if you're putting it in a notebook that you're giving to them journal, even cooler, right? Okay, the whole thing is we're not finding loopholes to policy.
Yes.
We're creating a culture of safety. At the end of the day, protecting the students, ourselves, and the church. If you aren't sure, right, the standard is policy. Well, the standard's policy. From here forward, everybody, the standard's policy, myself included. If you see a leader breaking policy, your job is to say something. It's not to come tattle to me, you need to say something to them. No, if you see Heidi pull up with 4 boys in her car by herself, you go to Heidi, you say, Heidi, hey, we just had this meeting, you cannot do that. And that's very clear in the protection policy, like we cannot do this going forward. And then you come to me, hey, Noah, I noticed this, I said something to Heidi, just as have it on your radar. You're not coming to me and like, Noah, fix it. That's not, we're holding each other accountable.
Yes.
And if you get corrected, don't be above reproach. Feedback is a tool to help you grow. And if you're really, really weird about receiving feedback, that's gonna tell me more about you than you realize. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. If you're unsure, just ask, please. Just ask. That's it. Okay. If you guys have not signed and reviewed the Ministry Protection Plan policy, you'll know because you haven't signed it. Please, before you leave, we have pen and full, all for you to read if you want to read the whole thing, which you should if you haven't already.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can we, and this is, I signed mine like 4 years ago. I think.
This is only 2 years old, but yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
This is a new one.
I say, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have my name signed, but whatever.
You want me to throw it out?
No.
Oh,
I think,
perfect.
like, okay, I'm pulling a corporate and I work for coaching. I feel like when we do this, you probably should sign a new one because you forget what you signed sometimes and it's like, oh, we did that. But I feel like I have to sign a new thing every year for coaching for this exact same stuff.
Sure.
I have to sign a new one every year for like corporate stuff too. And it's just like an accountability of things that was like, oh, I forgot about that. I know it counts, but I think it's just, it helps us hold us accountable as well.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's too much work.
What do you think,
for guys.
James?
I think it just holds us accountable.
If you want to sign a second one, I would say sign a second one. But I would
If we're
say
not
that's.
gonna make it a policy, then I'm not gonna sign it. But
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Hold on. unless there's something that comes up, that's what kind of this is for.
Yeah.
So that's why we try to make this mentor recording it, so who wasn't here can see it. Yeah, me and James will sidebar about that, and we'll figure out a solution.
Has anything changed in the last, like?
There's
say-
been no change in policy.
Okay, then, oh.
Policy's policy. Cool, B, hit pause.